Welcome again to the lecture series of signals and systems. In the previous lecture, we included some examples related to the jet transform, and we have seen that even the jet transform of two functions can be same, but the region of convergence of the jet transform makes this tool unique for every function. So the jet transform for the two different functions may become similar, but their ROCs will be unique. So this ROC is a special characteristic, or we can say that this is the speciality of jet transform and Laplace transform, which decides the region of convergence, means the region for which the jet transform exists. So this ROC is unique for every different functions, but their jet transforms may be similar. Now in this lecture we will include some properties, some important properties of the jet transform. Like, the first property is linearity of the jet transform. Linearity means if the signal sequence x1 of n has its jet transform equal to x1 of z, if the jet transform of x1 of n is x1 of z and jet transform of x2 of n is equal to x2 of z, then the jet transform of a times x1 of n plus b times x2 of n will be equal to a times x1 of z plus b times x2 of z. We can find the proof here also. We know that the jet transform of a sequence x of n is represented as sigma. N is from minus infinite to plus infinite, x of n into z power minus n. But here, instead of giving x of n as input, we will give here a x1 of n plus b x2 of n. So this will become the jet transform of a x1 of n plus b times x2 of n will be equal to sigma. N is from minus infinite to plus infinite, a times x1 of n plus b times x2 of n into z power minus n. Or we can separate the terms as n is from minus infinite to plus infinite, a times x1 of n into z power minus n plus sigma b times x2 of n into z power minus n, where n is from minus infinite to plus infinite. So we can separate these two terms, ax1 of n plus bx2 of n. Now because a and b are constants, so we can separate these, we can put these a and b outside of the summation. So this will become a times sigma x1 of n into z power minus n, where n is from minus infinite to plus infinite, plus b times sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x2 of n into z power minus n. And from the definition of jet transform, we know that because in place of xn it is written here x1 of n, it means that this is the jet transform of x1n, which is equal to x1 of z, and this term will be equal to x2 of z. So further this can be written as z transform of a times x1 of n plus b times x2 of n will be equal to a x1 of z plus b x2 of z, which is verify which will verify the linearity property of the z transform. The next property is time shifting property. Another very important property of the Z transform, which is time shifting property. Time shifting property of the Z transform states that if the Z transform of x of n is given as capital X of Z, then the Z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to z power minus m into x of z, where all the initial conditions are 0. Then x of z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to z power minus m x of z. Now, how we can prove this property? Here is the proof that we know the z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to sigma x of n minus m into z power minus n, where n will be from minus infinite to plus n. Now assume this n minus m, replace this n minus m with another variable. Suppose this is p. So what will be the limit on this new variable p? So the limit will be when n will be equal to minus infinite. When n will be equal to minus infinite, p will also be equal to minus infinite. When n will be equal to plus infinite, then p will also become plus infinite. It means that limit will remain same when I will replace this n minus m with p. Also from here, if n minus m is equal to p, then in place of n we can write p plus m. Then put all these values in this given relation, then the z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to p is equal to from minus infinite to plus infinite x of p z power minus p plus m. In place of n here I will write p plus m. So this will be equal to sigma p is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of p z power minus p into z power minus m. So because limit is given here on p, it means that this z power minus m will be a constant with respect to the variable p. So I can put this this term z power minus m outside of this summation, then this will become z power minus m. P is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of p into z power minus p, and This is what indicates, this indicates what? This is the simply z transform of the given signal xn, which is equal to x of z. It means that the z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to z power minus m into x of z. This is the proof of time shifting property of the z transform. Or similarly, in the similar way, we can prove that z transform of x power n plus m will be equal to z power m into x of z. So this is the time shifting property of the z transform. It means that we are shifting the signal. If we are shifting the signal in the time domain, then in the frequency domain we have to multiply with z power minus m or z power m depending on the condition, depending on the direction of the shifting. Either we are shifting the signal left or we are shifting the signal right. Depending on this condition, we have to multiply the signal in the z domain by z power minus m or z power plus m. This is the time shifting property of the z transform. So in this case, we assume that all the initial conditions given here are 0. Now, what will happen if initial conditions are not 0? In that case, suppose the z transform of x of n is given as x of z, means x of z will be equal to sigma x of n into z power minus n, where n is from minus infinite to plus infinite. Sorry, if it is not visible, I will write it here. X of z can be written as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into z power minus n. We can write the z transform of x of n as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n z power minus n, where if initial conditions are not 0, if the initial conditions are not 0, means some initial conditions are given itself. So in that case I can write x of z as x z transform of x of n minus m as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n minus m into z power minus n, or we can write it in this way also, sigma x of n minus m into z power minus n minus m, where n is from minus infinite to plus infinite. It means that we have multiplied in this with z power m minus m, z power m. If we will multiply in this with z power m, this will become z power minus n minus m. So because we have multiplied with z power m, it means that we have to multiply with z power minus m also, so that this will become z power 0 means 1. We are multiplying with 1 in this relation. So I will put here an extra z power minus m. Further, now again assume n minus m is equal to p. Similarly, when n will be equal to minus infinite, p will also become minus infinite. When n become plus infinite, p will also become plus infinite. It means there is no change in the limit after replacing the variable n minus m as p. After substituting this n minus m as p, the limit will remain same as it is from minus infinite to plus infinite. And now this n can be written as m plus p. So put all these values in this relation. This will become z of z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to, now with respect to p here, with because this limit will become p from minus infinite to plus infinite, because I am substituting p in place of n minus m, so this limit will be on p. So with respect to p here, this term z power minus m is a constant. So I will write it here, z power minus m summation p is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of p into z power minus p into z power minus p. So now this can be written as, limit here is when this p become, when I will take the limit here, suppose xn is a causal sequence, so we will take limit from 0 to infinite. We will take limit from 0 to infinite if x of n is a causal sequence. So if x of n is a causal sequence, we will take limit from 0 to infinite. Then when n will be equal to 0, in that case, when n will be equal to 0, this p will be equal to minus m. And when n will be equal to infinite, p will be equal to infinite. So this will become from minus m to infinite. If the limit here, if the limit will become from 0 to infinite, this will be equal to x of z. If the limit here will become from 0 to infinite, this will become, this term will become equal to x of z. So to convert this in the form of x of z, we have to convert this limit into 0. Means till now it is here from, suppose minus m is here, so limit is from minus infinite to plus, minus m to plus infinite, and we have to take limit from 0 to infinite only. Means this from minus m to minus 1 is an extra term here. This is an extra term. So when I will remove this term from minus m to minus 1, this will become only from 0 to infinite. So I will break this in this way. This is equal to z power minus m. I will put sigma p is equal to minus m to minus 1 x of p into z power minus p plus, now this will become sigma p from 0 to infinite x of p into z power minus p. I can write it as given here. So after replacing the limit, we can find m is from minus m to p is from minus m to minus 1 plus p is from 0 to infinite. The total limit will become from minus m to minus 1, and this term, now this term is directly equal to z transform of the signal x and x of z. So I can write in place of this x of z. So this will become z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to, this will become x of z multiplied by z power minus m. So this will become z power minus m x of z plus z power minus m into sigma p is from minus m to minus 1 into x of p into z power minus p. Or now replace this variable p with minus p. If we will replace this p with minus p, or you can take some other variable. Suppose p is equal to minus k here. In this term, if I will put p is equal to minus k, then this will become z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to z power minus m x of z plus, now when this will become minus k, so this will become k from 1 to m x of minus k into z power k. This is what we will get after shifting the signal in the time domain if initial conditions are not 0. If an initial conditions are not 0, then we will get it as x z power minus m x of z plus z power minus m k is from 1 to m x of minus k z power k. Means we have to add this extra term if the initial conditions are not 0. Z power minus m is also here, z power minus m. Similarly, we can prove that if the z transform of x of n is x of z, then what will be the z transform of x of n plus m? This will be equal to sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n plus m into z power minus m. This is for the condition when initial conditions are not 0. This is the case where initial conditions, the signal has some system has signal has some initial conditions. Now this can be written as, if given sequence is causal, then I can write limit from 0 to infinite. So this will become sigma n is from 0 to infinite x of n plus m into z power minus n plus m. Means we are multiplying in this sequence by z power minus m. So if it is multiplied by z power minus m, then we have to multiply with z power plus m also. So here I will multiply with z power plus m. Now consider n plus m as another variable p. So when n will be equal to 0, this p will be equal to m. When n will be equal to 0, this p will be equal to m, and when p will be equal to, when n will be equal to infinite, then p will also become infinite. It means that the new limit will be from m to infinite. Limit on the p will be from m to infinite. So in this way, this relation now can be written as sigma p is from m to infinite x of p into z power minus p, where z power m is a constant. Now again, the same condition arises if this sequence becomes 0 to infinite. If this limit becomes from 0 to infinite, then this will become x of z. So to convert this term as x of z, we have to add some extra term in this, because the given limit here is from, suppose m is here, so the limit given here is from m to infinite, and we have to include this also from 0 to m minus 1. We have to add this sequence also from 0 to m minus 1. For that purpose, we will add an extra term from 0 to m minus 1, and we will subtract this extra term from 0 to m minus 1. For that purpose, this will become z transform of x of n minus m will be equal to sigma. I will put z power m outside, and this will become sigma p is from 0 to infinite x of p into z power minus p, because we added an extra term here from 0 to m minus 1. So this will become 0 to infinite. Now I will subtract the same term from, I will subtract p from 0 to m minus 1 x of p z power minus p. Now this will become x of z. So this equation further can be written as z power m x of z minus z power m sigma p from 0 to m minus 1 x of p into z power minus p. This is the time shifting property of the Z transform when initial conditions are not given 0. The next property is multiplication by a exponential term property. So what will happen when we will multiply the signal in the time domain with exponential signal like a power n? So what will happen if we will multiply with a power n in the time domain of the signal? So suppose Z transform of given sequence x of n is x of z, then what will be the Z transform of a power n x power n, x of n, a power n into x of n, and this will be equal to x of z upon a. We can find the proof for this, as we know that the z transform of x of n can be written as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into z power minus n. So what will be the z transform of a power n x of n? I will replace this term by a power n x of n. So the z transform of a power n x of n will be equal to sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite a power n x of n into z power minus n, or we can write it as 1 upon a power minus n. So this can be written as further n is from minus infinite to plus infinite 1 upon a power minus n into x of n into z power minus n, or we can combine these two as this will become sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into z by a power minus n. So compare these two relations. If x of z is equal to this x of n into z power minus n, then if I will put in place of z, I will put z by a here, means this variable z will be replaced by z by a. So this will be the x of, this can be written as x of z upon a. This is the proof of the multiplication by an exponential in the time domain, then signal in the z domain will be, z will be divided by a. If we are multiplying the signal in the time domain with a power n, then the signal in the z domain will in the sequence of the, in the function of the z transform, we will replace every z by z by a. Now if the given sequence in the time domain is multiplied by a complex exponential, means suppose we are multiplying the signal in the time domain by a complex exponential j omega n x of n, then what will be the z transform? Again this will be equal to x of z by a, and a here is equal to e power j omega. In place of a, it is written here e power j omega power n, means in place of a I will write e power j omega. So this will become e power minus j omega into z. Similarly, e power minus j omega n, z transform of e power minus j omega n x of n will be equal to x of e power j omega z. If it is e power minus j omega n, then we will multiply with e power plus j omega. If it is e power plus j omega n, then we will multiply with in the z with e power minus j omega. This is the property called multiplication by a exponent or a complex exponential in the time domain. The next property is time reversal property. Time reversal property indicates that if the z transform time reversal property indicates that if the z transform of a sequence is x of z, then the z transform of x of minus n will be equal to x of 1 by z. Z transform of x of minus z will be equal to x of 1 by z, and if the ROC of this x of z is r, then the ROC of this will be 1 upon r. Now we can find the proof for this given property, as we know that x of z means z transform of x of n can be written as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into z power minus n. Or if we replace this x of n with x of minus n, then the z transform of x of minus n will be equal to sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of minus n z power minus n. Now replace this variable minus n with another variable p. So if I will replace this minus n with p, then z transform of x of minus n will be equal to sigma p is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of p into z power p. Or this z power p can be written as z power minus 1 minus p. So this can be written as p is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of p into z inverse power minus p. Z inverse power minus p. So instead of z, it is written here z inverse, means this can be written as x of 1 by z. This is the time reversal property of the z transform. Now the next property is time expansion property of the z transform. Time expansion property time expansion property of the z transform states that if the z transform of x of n is equal to x of z, then the z transform of x of n by k will be equal to x of z power k. This is the time expansion property of the z transform, and we can prove it as, we can find the proof for this property as x of z transform of x of n can be written as sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into z power minus n. Or then from this we can write the z transform of x of n by k as n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n by k into z power minus n. Now substitute this variable n by k with another variable p. So I will assume that this n by k is equal to p. So again limit on the p will remain same, because when n become minus infinite, p will also become minus infinite. When n become plus infinite, this p will also become plus infinite. So the limit will remain unchanged, and from here we can replace this n with p into k. So now this term can be written as z transform of x of n by k will be equal to sigma p is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of p into z power minus p into k, or I can write it as sigma p is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of p into z power minus k, z power k into power minus p. This can also written in this way. So in place of z here, it is written z power k. It means that this is the x of z power k. This is the time expansion property of the Z transform, which states that if we are multiplying the sequence, if we are dividing the sequence with a integer k, k obviously it is an integer here, because if it is not integer, the value of n by k will become 0. So if k is an integer, we are dividing the sequence n by k, then we have to put k in the power of z in the z domain. This is the time expansion property of the z transform. Next property is multiplication by n or differentiation in z domain property. Multiplication by n or differentiation in z domain. Multiplication by n or differentiation in z domain. So if the z transform of x of n is x of z, then z transform of x of n will be minus z into d by dz of x of z. Means if I will multiply with n in the time domain, then we have to differentiate the signal in the z domain and multiply with minus z. Proof: we know that z transform of x of n means x of z is equal to sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite x of n into z power minus n, or differentiating both side with respect to z. On differentiating both side with respect to z, we will get d by dz of x of z will be equal to sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite. If I will differentiate with respect to z, it means that only I have to differentiate this term. So this will become x of n d by dz of x power minus z power minus n, or after differentiation the power will come out in the multiplication and the power will be subtracted by 1. So this will become minus n x of n into z power minus n minus 1, where n is from minus infinite to plus infinite, or this can be written as further sigma minus is here n x of n into z power minus n into z power minus 1. or further I can write it as d by dz of x of z will be equal to minus sigma n is from minus infinite to plus infinite n into x of n into z power minus n, and I will put this z power minus 1 here, or this can be written as z transform of nxn, means this can be written as d by dz of x of z will be equal to minus z power minus 1 into x of into z transform of n into xn. So the z transform of n into xn will be equal to minus z d by dz of xz is equal to z transform of n xn. As a z transform pair, this can be written as z transform of nxn will be equal to minus z into d by dz of x of z. This can be written in this form also, or as a general formula, if it is if n is multiplied by k times, means if I am multiplying in the sequence by n power k, then its z transform of n power k into x of n will be equal to minus 1 power k into z power k into d power k by dz power k into x of z. So if I am multiplying with n power k in the time domain, then the sequence will be differentiated by with respect to z by k times. It will be differentiated k times and will be multiplied by z power k, and the sign will depend on the nature of this k. If it is an odd integer, if k is an odd integer, then minus, this sequence will be multiplied by minus sign. If it is a even integer, k is a even integer, then this will become plus z power k d power k by dz power k into x of z. So these are the some basic and very important properties of the Z transform. In the next lecture, we will discuss the remaining properties of the Z transform. So this is all for this lecture. Thank you.